episode of Disrupt Education. I got Jenifer Roth, a.k.a.
Miss Wait What.
Yeah, tell us what Miss Wait What is all about.
So I became a mom blogger.
Yeah.
I guess that's what we're considered as mom bloggers. After years of pondering my blog, Wait What, Excuse Me, because my life has been one big wait. What? Excuse me? So after years of pondering it, I said, let's give it a go. And I've been working with a bunch of other companies, really good mom bloggers.
Yeah. I'd put you in that category now.
I don't know if you'd put me. I kind of.
You're on Disrupt Education now.
I am on Disrupted Education.
Here we go.
I was like, shout out to Twiniversity and Bump Club and Beyond, and
That's
people
solid.
who've really supported me, especially Twiniversity have been a lot of my mentors.
How'd the blog come about? How'd it come about? Like, what made you think, okay, you know what, I'm going to blog today, and then just keep it going?
It's kind of how it worked out. I started off with a website, jrospeaks.com, which still exists, but it turned into this teacher animal beast of licensure because people really...
you are the licensing
I
queen,
am
man.
the local licensure lady,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, crap, I was going to be Miss J-Ro, J-Ro Speaks, and then it just kept coming, and I was like, wait, what? Excuse me? Like, I just kept waking up with that thought in my mind.
Yeah.
So I went with it, and I said, well, now's a good time. I really wanted to do it when I was on maternity leave. I had identical twins 17 months ago.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my last awakening of, wait, what, excuse me? But I got a little busy on that maternity leave.
Right.
In January, I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and buy this site, and I've got 2 years on it, and we're going to see where it goes. And that's what I've been doing. So I've been a little slacky on the actual blog posts in the last month because May is a busy
as
teacher month.
We're like grading everything, and everybody's writing to us.
Right.
Hey, can I get an A?
I've gotten, can you throw me a B?
Oh, there we go. That's a new one. I like that one.
Can you throw me a B if I do all the work that I should have done the last 18 weeks?
Throw me a B. I like that.
Throw me a B.
Well, let's go back then into your education. So, you teach, but what did you do basically from high school till now, and how did that look?
So, in talking about disrupted education, what I thought about is, where, Wait What, Excuse Me came from. Like, at the end of junior high, I had a rough transition into puberty and adolescence, and my brain was all over the place.
Yeah.
So my junior high actually was like, well, she was really stressed out. She's borderline. Should we put her in honor? Should we put her in regular? So they put me in all, regular classes, which is perfectly fine. But I wound up, repeating algebra. I, took earth science when everybody else was in bio, and and I was like, what's going on? This is like the easiest year ever. And it's like, well, because you dropped all my recommendations. So, I was like, that was my first FU to education. People would think, why would I go back into education?
Right.
And it's because of that, because people doubted me. And that put a lot of doubt in my head forever, So I actually finished high school in 3 years, not because I'm brilliant, but because I know how to read a handbook. And senior year, because of the way that schools are set up and everything's set up, I feel like I should turn towards you or something. The way schools are set up, my senior year, I'd basically be taking underwater basket weaving because I wouldn't succeed in AP classes because of where I was tracked. Like, you can move up in English, but if you try to move up in everything else, you're going to be lost. You missed a year of class. They should have put me right into geometry. They should have, but they didn't, because they took what my elementary school, junior high told them and said, okay. So then I went on. So I graduated. I just turned 17 after I graduated. So I was 16.
What did that look? I'm very curious about that year. Like, what did that look like?
I wanted to be a nurse. So I actually got a scholarship and went out to University of Rhode Island to find out there were big budget cuts in chemistry and bio, which is where a nursing major would live for 2 years. And I was young. So I came home. I went to community college for 2 semesters and then actually studied abroad in England.
Awesome.
To finish my associate's degree.
Wow. Okay. Which I didn't even know you could do as an associate's degree. You can study abroad.
Yeah, you can study abroad.
Wow.
It's actually a program through Illinois State, which is where I transferred right into. But I paid community college tuition to go.
That's very smart.
I am a handbook reader, people.
Yeah.
Handbook reader.
Yeah.
So finished my associates in England. And then because I finished the associates, I was able to transfer to any Illinois college as a solid junior into my major.
Wow.
Which is something people don't realize either. Just so you know, smaller classes. I worked full time. I went to class and saved a
Man, I wish I did that.
Right.
I didn't even go overseas, but then to do it on a community college dime.
On a community college dime.
Wow.
So I transferred, 3 times and still finished college in 4 years.
Yeah. What was your degree in then? Was it in
I
nursing?
finished, no. At that point, when I transferred back to Illinois, back to Oakton Community College, I was like, I don't really like blood and bedpans.
Right.
And, I really wanted to be a psych nurse. It was like this strange thing. And I'm like, well, what do I want to do then with my life? And I'd been an AIDS educator and a peer educator since I was 14. I said, this is where I was happiest. So started doing some research with my former principal, who also, I would say, was a disrupted education man.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was like, well, should I do social science? Should I do health? He's like, what's your passion? And I said, well, health. I love teaching health. I love teaching life skills. I'm a cheerleader for the everyman. So went and did health education and psychology education actually at Illinois State. And did AmeriCorps while I was there and worked for the Red Cross and learned that community health is not for me. Turns out, as political as people may think I am, I have absolutely no interest in being all that political, which regardless of what position in life you wind up in, that's what happens.
Right.
So did that and, got my first wait what moment. I actually took a job in Texas for my first year and went away again. I'm a runner. I admit it. I'm a runner. Things get tough. I'm going away.
Yeah.
And, wake up in the morning and start getting calls from Illinois schools. And I'm like, well, I applied in February.
Right.
I can't live, in limbo. It's just not my thing. But that's pretty much where you wind up living anyway, is in limbo. So, a series of events. I wind up in Texas. I meet a great friend. Because I'm coaching out there. I'm coaching a million sports.
Yeah.
So I basically have my coaching partner who I'm with from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. And at the time, that wait what slap in the face is my brother actually passed away that year when I was living in Texas. So at the end of that year, I was like, my mommy needs me more than I do. Yeah. So had to come home and grieve. Had to come home and do what everybody the last 6 months had not done. Right. Had been going through. So went through that and I wound up getting a job at Waukegan High School, which was a great different setting of things. So the schools at this point that I'd been through had been Evanston and then Texas, in a small town Texas, diverse as well, closed down for the rodeo,
Nice. A little different than up here in Illinois.
Right.
No rodeos around here.
Correct. No rodeos around here. And then Waukegan was, a whole other world of, this diversity that we don't really have. It's a different diversity than what we would have here at Oak Park. So got involved with them, called, and I had said, so I went to Northern after I student taught just for driver ed certification, and was like, I'm never teaching driver ed. I'm
never
a health
never.
teacher. What
Never
am I going to do? Driver ed. There's what? So it wound up at Waukegan that they had someone resign like 5 days before school started, and I called about a long-term sub job in special ed.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's on your license? I'm like,
They got
driver ed, health, and psych. And they're like, cool, can you interview tomorrow? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So, interviewed, and then that Monday I started teaching, and they're like, don't worry, we're not just going to throw you in. So I observed one in-car and was out in the car with 3 students
and
the
then
next
they threw
period.
you in. They threw you in.
I did.
Yeah.
In a place I'd never really been. Like, I was like, what's happening here? So got my master's when I was there. I got a master's from National Louis in educational leadership, so administration. Really found some very profound leaders in there that I loved. But interestingly, my first professor in grad school wound up being my elementary school principal.
Oh, wow.
Who was kind of, he started me on this self-doubt almost.
Wow.
Where I'm in the car crying to my mom saying, I can't do this. They told me I couldn't do this. And she said, you could do this.
Yeah, right.
And of course I did it, and did my master's in 18 months, which is insane.
Wow.
And, but I'm a runner.
Yeah, right. You've been here a while, though. So
I have been here a while. So did my master's, and then the guys all thought they would be funny, and they nominated me to be secretary of the Illinois Driver Ed Association.
There you go.
And I said, what the heck? Let's do this. And then met some, really interesting guys there. They're like, how are we going to know you? I'm like, I'm a 24-year-old woman.
Yeah.
We'll see you. We'll find you.
Yeah, right.
We'll find you.
Right.
So became secretary and looked at a guy and said, I'm going to take your job next year.
Nice.
And I did.
Yeah.
And I did. So that's how I came to Oak Park 14 years ago with this guy.
Same year, yeah.
We're in the same class, man.
Yeah, now I'm running.
I know. It's okay. It's okay. It's learning. It's learning.
So going back, just a ton of experience, which is awesome. I had no idea you had this much experience because we don't really talk all that much.
Right.
But going back then into those pivotal moments in your education, obviously you stated a few things that were, made you self-doubt and those types of things.
Right.
How would you change, if you could go back and change the system, how would you change it?
I think just, starting at an earlier age, just trying to sense out what a kid wants to do. And then, I know we try to get rid of tracking and we try to get rid of, and it's hard to do, but it's something that needs to be done. It's hard for me to watch kids that are like pigeonholed into something that they don't want to do. I am the cheerleader for the everyman, and actually, I got another master's in advanced special ed and director of special ed, and really focused on transition and transition out. We are a society that pushes people towards 4-year degrees. In a society of people like myself who got a 2-year degree and still made it.
Right.
And granted, I've been to, more education, but I always centered on a position, a degree in something that would get me a career if I did not want to go on.
Got it.
So, you had a business degree, right?
Yeah.
So a business degree gets you a business, something. And then a teaching degree puts you in a place. So I think... just kind of working with kids and the whole kid. That's really important to me. And looking at what their abilities and what their wants and needs are, not necessarily what their parents' wants and needs are. And I hate to say that. Parents are pivotal in getting it. But just because you had this path doesn't mean it's for everybody. You know, there was an article that I posted about that a girl is in, you know, AP, but she wants to work on large engine machinery, and people are giving her a hard time about it. And she's like, why? I'm going to make a lot of money and I'm going to be done with school in 2 years, and people already want me. And this is what I love to do and what I'm good at doing.
Right.
You know, I always say to people, you know, use me for what I'm good at.
Right.
Which is helping people in terms of life skills.
Right.
You know, I've wanted to go to special education, but I'm picky about it, and I'm 18 years in, and I, you know, I mean, I probably shouldn't say it on camera, you know, but co-teaching in a classroom that I'm not familiar with is not a place that you should use me. You should use me in a place that's going to provide life skills and provide transitional opportunities. And, you know, cheer on the kid that's going to a 2-year or a trade or, you know, these $100,000 jobs that are out there.
What does that look structurally then? Like, so I've always experimented, like, in, you know, we're in 8 periods a day here, 48 minutes, which a lot of high schools are.
Right.
Should that change structurally? Is there something like within a day to see a whole kid? And I'm just talking secondary ed.
Right.
I mean, if you want to go back into elementary or middle school, I'm just wondering how that looks, or is there a perfect way to do it?
I don't know if there is a perfect way. Like, you've seen people go to block scheduling, and I think block scheduling, it's just experiencing college a little bit more.
Right.
And that's, you know, part of the reason I even went to college so early is I was like, why should I take APs, APs, and take it 5 days a week for a whole year and not be guaranteed to get that credit?
Right, yeah.
You know, where I can take it 2 or 3 days a week for a semester and make sure I get the credit.
Yeah, and you did it a year ahead of time.
Year ahead, and still, so I just turned 21. I'm a summer baby. So I student taught when I was 20, with my oldest students being almost 19.
Wow.
So, so they weren't that much behind me. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I don't know what an ideal would look like. Yeah. It's hard to imagine ideal, because ideal for me is going to be different for you.
Exactly, yeah.
And that, you know, how are you going to structure everything around a whole kid? You can't. And truth is, kids need structure. Right. So, you know, do I think 48 minutes is necessarily the best model? Probably not. You know, I mean, us teachers, it works for some. Right. You know, the attention span, you know, you move on. But you've got elementary school teachers that are with kids for, you know, all, you know, 6.5 hours straight with kids. Right. And they switch subjects. And I think that works as well for some kids. Right. So, you know, ideally, I don't know. I wish we could, you know, not track, but again, we have to track. You know, I'm a person who, you know, I talk to kids all the time, and I'm like, you know, I know you want to say damn the man, and that's fine, but you have to learn how to, you know, question the authority, but also work with the authority. Yeah. You know, you still have to, you know, I can be a corner cutter all I want, but I still work with the man. I still am institutionalized in that way that I know how to function in this world. Right. And I think school should remain, to me, should be that safe place where kids can figure out their world and be able to forget about life outside for a couple minutes. You know, no matter what's happening, and my father taught me that, you know, no matter what's happening at home, when you're at school, you don't have to think about that. Yeah, you know, I teach driver ed, and I get a lot of kids that say, you know, will drive like they're trying to kill me that day, and I'm like, what's going on? They're, oh, I'm having a bad day, and I'm like, you know what, dude? There are days that I'm having a bad life, but driving is an everyday task, right? And you have to learn how to push it to the side and move on with your day. You know, you need to survive and you need to thrive. Yeah. And how does that work for you? Yeah. What is it do for you?
That's a great analogy. Where can people find you online?
I'm at www.
Yeah, you're going to say it. We'll put it up right here.
MissMSWaitWhat.com.
Awesome.
And then also on Facebook as Wait What, Excuse Me, and on the Instagram at
the Instagram.
The Instagram.
It's the new.
I'm on the Twitter too.
Twitter.
I don't know.
No Snap and Chat yet?
No. I don't even really know how to work half of this.
Hey,
I mean,
you need to hire some of the students and they'll figure it out.
I do. Like, I just don't even know what to put up. And, I mean, I've got 600 followers. And,
that's awesome.
But it takes money to get there.
Exactly.
And because of other places, again, shout out, my people are really Twiniversity. They're my go check them out if you have twins coming, or if anybody has twins. They're my saving grace, and I do a lot for them on a daily basis. So
fantastic. Thanks for heading on over to my
office. Did I answer all your questions?
We are going to continue disrupting even more, so keep an eye out. Check her out. Oh my gosh, you got to read her blogs. They're amazing. They're straight up front, for real.
It's kind of how I roll.
That's how we roll. So keep disrupting, everybody.